welcome back, founding champions. Welcome back, and look at your screen. Today we have Volturnos, High King of the Deep, a new card from Onslaught, also known as Wave 2. And I really do like this card, and this is going to be basically an elf deck. I think there's a lot of ways you can take elves. You can take elf, you can do a very hardcore elf beast. But today we're just going to have a more just straight elf deck. We're going to get our toes wet, and with play testing in the future, we will find which one's the best. So here we go. Without further ado, Volturnos, High King of the Deep. Obviously, 9 cost gives you 2 health, which is very, very important for elves. A lot of their guys are either 0 or minus on health, but he gives you 2. We're going to be able to play an elf, and then that elf can do damage twice. So, and we're going to see where this comes really, really important, because we have a card that's actually going to rotate our champions the wrong way, but it's a very good effect. And having the ability to just have one guy repeatedly do damage and go back and forth without losing too much value is going to be very, very important. Loki and Prince is going to ignore any rend across from us, so we do have some damage reduction. It's going to be important. We're going to want to play Isher and Soulrunner, probably actually in the middle-ish. So, and then probably Lotan in the middle too, somewhere, so we can get max value off of our stuff. Maybe something like this. I don't know, whatever you like. This guy is more turbo rotation. This guy here, Isher and Soulrunner, it's actually going to see some play now, I think. So we do have the full 2 copies or 2 cards of removal. And we're going to be removing a lot of guys. Anybody that's across from him is basically going to get killed, probably. And we're going to get our elves back so that we can actually get his ability off. We're not using his ability too much, but if our entire field is full of elves, every turn we're going to be able to do 2 damage. It's going to be at the start of the turn, so if our opponent kills the guy on his turn, we're not going to be able to do much about it. But Lotan is the MVP champion of the deck with Volturnos. When this champion controls a beast unit, increase the damage done from highlighted elf units by 1. It's really good for this deck. Sort of race our opponents. Alright, so we're going to put those to the side. We're going to look at the blessing lineup. I do have a new blessing in this deck. It's Frenzied Order. Just straight up do 7 damage to your opponent. I think it's pretty nice. That's going to go well with our Divine Blast. You got 7, you got 6. Illuminanger's Last Lament, because we have a lot of elves. We're going to reduce that damage by 1. But also our elves can't be killed anymore. They can't be removed, at least in these 3 lanes. And then, of course, Abjuration, making our opponent's units dormant and doing 2 damage to them. Now, you can play High Tide, or whatever that card is called, where you draw 2 cards. Next turn you can play up to 2 elves, and then restart them. It's a very good card, and I do want to try out Frenzied Order, but I would have that card over this. So it's just up to you. I think a lot of people are going to play it that way. I think I might actually make the change soon anyways. But anyways, actually, we'll just leave these guys out for future reference. But I'm so worried you can see them. Without further ado, we're going to go into the units now. So we have 3 Achillean Barrier Guards. It's doing that damage reduction like I said we were going to do. 3 Sweeping the Marty Thrall, very good against low-costing opposing champions. We've got 3 of these Biovoltaic Morisar Guards. It's just going to do 3 damage, but if it's the last rotation on the champion, it's going to do 5 damage and basically sweep up the 3 units away from our opponent. So it could be really good. So for like the Loki and Prince or Lotan to get their effects off. And it's also a beast, so that Lotan is going to be able to buff our other elves. Then we got 3 of a new card here. It is Hellsaber Ishelin Guard. So he's riding a little eel there. Looks like a seahorse eel thing. XX 1 and 2. We're going to do 3 damage to our opponent eventually and remove a highlighted unit. So on that one corner, we're going to remove one of those units. It's not all the units. So I think that's the way they meant it to be written. It's not remove highlighted units like Biovoltaic is written. It's just remove A units. So A highlighted units. So we're going to kill one of their units, and then we're going to do 2 damage, and then kill another one of their units. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. I don't think it's on play. I think you get it when you get to that one. But I think a rules guru can further confirm that. Next up we have Namarti Soul Reaver. since we do have all that removal in our deck, we might as well just start gaining some life with it. You only got to remove one thing to get this card to sort of average tier. Next up, we have another new card. It's the Razor Shell Harpoon Aelf. This is the these guys riding the giant sharks. It's a beast elf. Highlighted units are dormant, damage to your opponent. So we're going to make them dormant right away and then eventually do 3 damage. It's very similar to the other lane control units. And it's a beast elf, so it's very good, very good. Outstanding uncommon. Next up, we have our first and only non-elf unit in the deck. I know this is a non-bow with Vulture. However, it's a really good gotcha card, so I like to play this card like it's an ability that takes up a unit lane slot. Basically, if we're playing against something like a what do you call that? Scarbrand, we can just go, gotcha. So, you know, that he's not going to get all that extra damage off him for 2 turns. We have more time to react. Also, basically, a highlighted champion cannot deploy spells, units, or play abilities. It's just going to be really good against people that are trying to do very specific things. We can get them. We don't want to play this right off the bat. We do want to save it. I'm going to put these guys down here. We have that one of Divine Vengeance. Just an outstanding 6 damage card right off the bat. Only one because playing multiples really doesn't help us too much. It does suffer from the law of diminishing returns. So we don't want to have our returns diminished. Next up, Triumphant Smash. One of the best single point removal spells in the game. Basically rotating our elves backwards to keep them on the boards longer for Vulture. And it's a removal, so why not? Next up, we have Order Before Glory. It's a very new card. I do want to talk about this card just a little bit. Draw 1 card, so it sort of replaces itself. And then rotate this champion 1 step backwards to restart a highlighted unit. So it does have a bonus, draw a card. It does have a drawback, rotating your champion backwards, but then you get to restart a highlighted unit. So as you can tell, some of these units can do quite a bit of damage. So if our opponent has, like, say, you know, a low-cost champion, and we've done 6 damage, well, we can do a whole nother 6 damage with this guy, and I think that's pretty good. Especially 2 damage going right away off the bat. I think that's pretty good. And with Vulture now, basically we play a guy here, and he just keeps doing damage, right? Well, you know, it goes back, or we play that ability, and well, who cares if it's rotating backwards now? We've already flipped him over. But anyways, if we play it here, it just keeps going back and forth, and that guy's doing damage. So the drawback really isn't a drawback. It's only really a drawback when you're playing on another champion, but it's all lanes. So you can play it, doesn't matter what positioning you have. Vulture can be on the far left, the far right, doesn't really matter. Because oops, I bumped it. Are you still with me? Did I just bump you off the video? Because we do want the Lotan and the Ishran Soul Render in the middle. So Vulture has a perfect home off to the side. And then now the last card, definitely not least, we have Attack Removal, or Attack Rem for short. This is the new removal spell for Order. Rotate any enemy highlighted, rotate any enemy spell or unit 1 step forwards to remove a highlighted spell or unit. So we can just move it forward. It's best when we're using that against a stacking unit so that it exhausts before opponent gets a chance to stack. It's really good against units that they're trying to combo with. It's really good against units such as basically any board control units that's not Hurricane Raptor, obviously. So it would be good against like opposing Razor Cell Harpoons, gets this out of there quicker. It's good against damage reduction units, damage reduction spells, things like that. It's really good. Or you can just rotate the card you're trying to kill. Unfortunately, it could do more damage to you, but it's not a dead card, and it's very, very good, very, very versatile. So, outstanding card, and they can rotate in any lane. You don't have to rotate it exactly right in front. So it's not rotate a highlighted unit, just rotate anything. And then you remove what's in front, obviously, that's being played by this. So that is the deck, guys. I'll try and put a link. I might forget, because, you know, I'm very forgetful. I usually don't put those links in there. But a link to the deck, so that you can just click on the link with your phone and boom, you get straight to the deck. You don't have to build the deck or anything like that. It's a pretty nice little feature. And guys, I do want to thank you for watching. Again, we are the 5th Grand Alliance. We are going to work on this deck, make it better, make it nice, make it a powerhouse. Maybe we just want to shift to maybe more of a beast type deck, because we could play things like this card here. That would be really sweet in this deck. I just didn't have the room as of yet. But go ahead and start a little discussion if you'd like. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you would change, what you would put in, take out, things like that. And thanks for watching. Have a nice day.